Welcome to our deep dive into the history of photography. We've got some really interesting excerpts from historical photography books here.
Yeah, a whole stack of them.
Ready to take you on a journey.
A journey through time.
You want to understand how this art form evolved, right? Not
Mhm.
just memorize names and dates.
Exactly. We'll explore the why behind it all, the motivations and challenges faced by these pioneers.
And how those breakthroughs changed how we capture images today.
I mean, even how we capture images now on our phones, it all goes back to these early discoveries.
What's going to be fascinating. We'll discover how early pioneers like Thomas Wedgwood, oh man, this guy.
He was some though.
He was struggling with this concept of permanence in photography.
Yeah, he was creating these images. They were called photograms.
Imagine a picture.
You don't even need a camera.
But they would disappear.
Literally as you were looking at them. Poof.
Gone.
It's wild.
And color photography.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Talk about a challenge.
It's a testament to human ingenuity and persistence.
So it wasn't just one eureka moment, right?
No, not at all.
It was a series of breakthroughs.
All around the world.
Happening almost simultaneously.
Like a race to capture and preserve images.
Okay, so let's jump in.
Let's meet some of these pioneers. Our story begins way before the first photograph.
Way before.
Oh yeah, way back in 1725.
Wow, okay.
There was this German professor, Johann Heinrich Schulze.
Okay.
And he was experimenting, with chalk and nitric acid.
Oh, sounds dangerous.
It was the 1700s. Anything goes.
To go.
But anyway, he was working with silver too and stumbled on this fascinating discovery.
Okay, what do you find?
Silver salts.
Yeah.
They're sensitive to light.
So that was like the first clue.
That was it.
The initial spark.
The spark that set everything in motion.
It's amazing how those accidental discoveries
You know what I mean?
lead to entire new field
Of
knowledge and innovation.
Exactly.
So Schultz's discovery, that was like the groundwork
It was the foundation.
for everything that came after.
Okay, so fast forward now to the early 1800s.
Okay.
And we meet Thomas Wedgwood.
The guy whose pictures disappear.
That's the one. He was experimenting with those photograms we talked about.
Okay.
He was making these silhouette images.
By placing objects on light-sensitive paper, right?
You got it. But he couldn't make them permanent.
Oh.
They'd fade away.
It must have been so frustrating.
To see your creations just disappear
Oof,
like a ghost.
I can't even imagine.
It makes you realize how much we take for granted now.
We really do.
The permanence of our photos.
So if Wedgwood couldn't figure it out, who did?
Well, that honor goes to Nicephore Niepce,
Okay.
a French inventor.
Here.
In 1826, he did what Wedgwood couldn't.
He made a permanent photograph.
He did, using a process called heliography.
Heliography. I'll have to look that one up.
It's a mouthful. But his first photo
Yeah.
took 8 hours to expose.
8 hours.
8 hours?
Imagine having to sit still for that long.
I'd fall asleep.
I wonder if those early subjects ever got bored.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Or fell asleep.
Maybe they took naps.
I wonder if that's why they mostly took pictures of buildings and stuff.
Yeah, things that don't move.
Makes sense. Landscapes and architecture.
It's a good point. It's certainly possible.
That those long exposure times.
Definitely influenced their choices.
But even with those limitations,
oh, yeah.
Niepce's breakthrough was huge.
Mind you,
Cracked the code.
permanence at last.
Okay, so Niepce figures out permanence, but when does photography really take off?
When does it become more than just a scientific experiment?
Exactly.
The year to remember is 1839.
1839. Got it.
It's considered the official birth year of photography.
The birth year. Why 1839?
Because of two major announcements.
Two. Okay, tell me more.
The daguerreotype by Louis Daguerre
Okay.
and the calotype
Calotype.
by William Henry Fox Talbot.
Two groundbreaking announcements.
Same year.
Talk about a pivotal moment.
Talk about it. It was huge.
What was the difference between these two processes?
They were both using light-sensitive silver.
Okay, like Schultz discovered way back when.
Exactly. But they were using it in very different ways.
Okay, so how are they different?
The daguerreotype,
Yeah.
it produced incredibly sharp images.
Wow.
Super detailed images.
On what? Like film?
On metal plates. They look like little mirrors.
Wow.
Reflecting the world.
But there was a catch, right?
There was a big one.
What was it?
Each daguerreotype. It was unique.
So only one.
One of a kind. You couldn't make copies.
So a trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing detail, but no copies.
Exactly.
What about Talbot's calotype?
The calotype, it used paper negatives,
Paper.
which meant you could make multiple prints.
Oh, so you could share them.
And reproduce them.
But the calotypes weren't as sharp.
Not as sharp as the daguerreotypes.
So again, a trade-off.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
Two processes emerging at the same time.
Offering different advantages and disadvantages.
It's like they represented two paths.
Two paths for photography to take.
Exactly.
People like one more than the other.
At first.
Yeah.
People went crazy for daguerreotypes.
Daguerreotypes, I can see why.
Daguerreotypomania, it swept the globe.
Wow.
People were mesmerized by these images.
They must have seemed so magical.
Magical is the word.
But the calotype ultimately proved more influential.
In the long run.
I guess because of those copies.
The ability to reproduce images.
It changed everything.
It paved the way for photographic printing.
And helped shape photography as we know it.
Absolutely.
So the calotype, even with its limitations,
laid the foundation for the future.
What were some of the key advancements that built on Talbot's work?
Well, there was Louis Desire Blanquer Everard.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
I know, right?
What did he do?
He made some major refinements.
With the calotype.
To the calotype. He focused on printing images on paper.
But didn't Wedgwood try that?
He did, but remember the permanence issue.
Oh yeah, the fading.
Blanquer Everard helped solve that problem.
It's amazing how these early pioneers...
They were constantly pushing boundaries.
They found solutions to these really difficult challenges.
Their work laid the groundwork for what we have today.
Absolutely. So while these technical developments were unfolding...
Photographers started to find new applications for photography.
Like what?
Well, for example, there was Anna Atkins.
Anna Atkins.
She was a botanist.
Okay.
And she used a process called cyanotype.
Cyanotype, what's that?
It's a type of photographic print
Okay.
to document algae specimens.
Algae. So she was using photography for science.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
To capture and preserve information.
In this new way.
A whole new way.
It was a sign of things to come.
It was.
Photography was changing how we saw the world.
It was changing everything.
So we left off with the arrival of color photography.
Yeah, color. It really changed everything.
I can imagine.
It wasn't just about capturing the world in color.
Right, it was more than that.
It was a whole new way for photographers to express themselves.
To explore different emotions and aesthetics.
Absolutely. And it changed how people saw photographs, too.
Made them feel even more real.
More immediate.
It's amazing how color can have such a profound impact.
It really is. It's like a whole new dimension.
So how did photographers start experimenting with color?
Well, for one, it breathed new life into existing genres.
Like landscapes and portraits.
Exactly. The world suddenly looked different.
I bet they couldn't wait to capture it all in color.
And then in the 20th century, we see new movements popping up.
Reflecting that shift towards personal vision.
And artistic expression.
One example is social documentary photography.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
We talked about Jacob Riis.
Documenting the slums of New York.
But I imagine social documentary photography really took off in the 20th century.
You're right. Riis was a pioneer.
But it was during the Great Depression.
That it really came to the forefront.
When people were really struggling.
Dorothea Lange, photographs of migrant workers.
Yeah, I've seen those.
They captured that hardship.
In a way, words just couldn't.
They're so powerful.
They really are. They have this timeless quality.
They still resonate with us today.
They remind us of the resilience of the human spirit.
Exactly.
So Lange's work and others like her.
They really raised awareness about social issues.
And it helped inspire change.
Those pictures weren't just about aesthetics.
They were about capturing reality.
The reality of people's lives.
Especially those who are often overlooked.
The marginalized communities.
It's incredible to think about the impact those images had.
Not just on the art world.
But on society as a whole.
They gave a voice to the voiceless.
And brought important issues to light.
So did the exploration of different styles continue.
During this time.
Absolutely. We also see the emergence of street photography.
Okay, I'm picturing those classic black and white images.
Of city life.
Capturing those everyday moments.
Those fleeting moments.
That most people wouldn't even notice.
Exactly. Street photography was all about embracing the chaos.
The spontaneity of urban life.
Finding beauty in the mundane.
And capturing those unguarded moments.
It's about the human condition, you know?
It sounds like street photography required a different approach.
Than other genres.
Was there a photographer who really defined street photography?
Robert Frank.
Okay, I've heard that name.
His work in the 1950s is a great example.
He captured the energy of America.
In his book, The Americans.
A collection of photographs.
Challenging those conventional notions of beauty.
So it was about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Breaking the rules.
A more spontaneous approach.
A subjective approach.
Capturing the world as it unfolded.
with all its imperfections.
Not about creating perfect images
It was about those raw and authentic moments.
that revealed something real.
About the human experience.
It's a style that seems both timeless and modern.
You know what I mean.
It makes you want to grab a camera and hit the
You
streets,
start seeing the world differently.
capturing those moments that we usually miss.
Did this exploration continue to evolve?
In the later part of the 20th century,
It did. As we move into the 60s and 70s, we see photography taking another turn, the conceptual and the experimental.
this is where things start to get a little more abstract
A little less about reality.
and more about using photography to explore ideas,
Explore concept.
push the boundaries.
Exactly. Photographers were experimenting with collage,
Collage.
mixed media,
Wow.
performance art even.
Photography became part of something bigger.
It was a time of playfulness,
And experimentation.
challenging those old notions of what a photograph should be.
It was a time of great change, wasn't it?
Social and cultural upheaval.
And that was reflected in the art world, too.
Photography wasn't just about documenting reality anymore.
It was about expressing ideas,
Exploring personal experiences.
pushing creative boundaries.
The photograph became a creation in itself.
It sounds like a really exciting time to be a photographer.
It really was. It was about a collective shift in thinking.
About what photography could be,
Artists were questioning the very nature of photography.
challenging the idea that it was just about capturing reality,
They wanted to create new reality.
to explore the power of images.
To evoke emotions, tell stories, spark conversations.
And that impact can still be seen today.
In contemporary photography,
It's amazing to see how photography has evolved
from those first blurry images
to this era of experimentation.
and conceptual exploration,
There was a real turning point in the 20th century.
when photography became a medium for artistic expression.
And personal exploration.
Absolutely.
And that evolution continues.
Photographers are always pushing boundaries
Finding new ways to use photography.
to express themselves, explore the world, connect with others.
Speaking of evolution, there's one major development we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, yeah.
The digital revolution.
The arrival of digital photography.
It completely changed the medium, didn't it?
It transformed everything. Digital cameras, editing software.
It changed everything.
Photographers suddenly had so much control.
Over their images.
They could manipulate light color composition, creating entirely new realities.
Just like that.
It was a whole new world of possibilities.
But I bet some people weren't happy about it.
Oh, yeah, there was resistance.
Those who loved film.
That tactile experience.
The ritual of developing film.
But digital photography democratized it.
Democratize.
It made photography accessible to everyone
Anyone could be a photographer.
with a digital camera or even a smartphone.
It changed how we consume images, too.
The internet, social media.
Like Instagram.
Alert.
It created a whole new way to share photographs.
And connect with audiences around the world.
It wasn't just about creating images anymore.
It was about sharing them.
Engaging in conversations.
Building communities.
It was like the printing press for photography.
Exactly. It opened up access.
A global network of photographers.
And it's still evolving.
New technologies, new platforms,
Pushing boundaries.
changing how we create, share, and experience photography
It's incredible how far photography has come.
in such a short time.
From those first attempts to capture a permanent image
To the digital revolution,
and beyond,
photography has constantly evolved.
reflecting the changing world around us.
It makes you wonder, though,
What happened to those earlier styles?
did they disappear?
Or did they find new life in the digital age?
That's a great question.
It's a bit of both, I think.
Some styles faded away,
As new technologies emerge,
but others found new life.
being reinterpreted by contemporary photographers
Can you give us some examples?
of how earlier styles have been reinterpreted.
Sure. I'm curious to see how the past and present intersect.
Well, one example is the resurgence of film photography,
Film, really?
especially among younger generations.
They're drawn to that tactile experience.
The unpredictability of it.
The grain, the
It's
texture.
the reaction to the perfection of
It
digital,
felt like a rediscovery of the past.
connecting with the history of photography.
Embracing those analog processes.
It's fascinating how these cycles work.
Innovation and rediscovery.
It's not just film, though. We see street photography influencing other genres, too.
Like what?
Urban exploration, social documentary photography.
Photographers are still drawn to the city,
Capturing that energy.
using their cameras to document social issues.
It's inspiring to see those styles resonate.
With contemporary photographers,
You're finding new ways to use those visual languages.
to connect with audiences.
What about photojournalism?
Oh, yeah. How has the digital age impacted that?
Profoundly.
I bet.
Photojournalists can capture and share images instantly now.
From anywhere in the world.
It's changed how we understand global events.
It's like we have a window into the world.
We can witness events as they unfold.
It's powerful stuff.
And we've seen the rise of citizen journalism, too.
Through social media.
Anyone with a smartphone
Can document events
share their percent of power,
in the hands of everyday people.
changing how news is gathered.
But it also raises questions.
About objectivity.
The potential for bias.
How do we navigate this new landscape of visual information? That's a tough question.
It really is.
We need to be critical consumers of images.
More than ever.
We need to think about the source, the context, the potential for bias.
It sounds like visual literacy is so important now.
It's essential,
We need to be able to analyze images,
just like we do with words,
to decode the messages.
to understand their power.
Okay, we've covered a lot today.
A whirlwind tour
From those first blurry images,
to the possibilities of the future.
it's clear that photography has come a long way.
It really has.
So what does it all mean?
Where does photography go from here?
What does the future hold?
That's the big question, isn't it?
And the answer is...
Well, I think it's up to all of us.
Wait a minute, you're passing the buck.
I mean, in a way, yes.
I thought you were the expert.
But in photography, everyone's an expert.
Everyone.
We all have cameras.
Sure.
We're all creating and consuming images,
We're shaping the future of photography.
whether we realize it or not.
Okay, point taken, but give us something to ponder.
What fascinates me is how technology keeps blurring the lines
Blurring the line.
between photography and other mediums.
Like what?
Virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence.
AI. Yeah, it's changing everything.
They're all having an impact on how we experience images.
I've seen those AI-generated images.
They're incredible.
They're so real.
It makes you wonder what it means to be a photographer now.
In a world where anyone can create a real image,
With the help of technology.
that's a really interesting question.
It's one we're all grappling with.
It challenges us to think about what makes photography unique.
What makes it valuable?
What makes a photograph resonate with us?
Whether it's made by a human or a machine.
It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer.
But it's worth exploring.
As technology evolves,
We need to reflect on the nature of photography,
its power to capture and communicate.
its role in shaping our understanding of the world.
So as we move forward into this new world,
What advice would you give to aspiring photographers?
where should they go next?
I always say go back to the source.
The source.
Explore the work of those pioneers.
The ones we talked about.
Look at how they approached photography,
The challenges they face.
the innovations they made,
Learn from them.
their successes and failures.
So a little art history homework.
Exactly, but not in a boring way.
Okay.
Look at those images with fresh eyes.
Ask yourself, what do I see?
How does this make me feel?
What can I learn from it?
And how can I apply those lessons to my own work?
So it's about developing a critical eye,
Not just consuming images passively,
but actively engaging with them,
understanding their context.
considering their impact.
It's that curiosity
That keeps photography alive.
and evolving,
It's about learning from the past,
experimenting in the present
shaping the future.
of this incredible medium,
Yeah, it is inspiring to think about photography as this journey.
this ongoing journey of discovery and exploration.
But it's not just about taking pictures for ourselves,
It's
right?
about sharing them.
With the world.
Photography is a powerful form of communication,
It's a way to connect with others.
to share our perspectives.
And these days, there are so many ways to do that.
So many platforms.
Social media, online galleries, photo
The
books.
possibilities are endless.
It's exciting to think about reaching new audiences.
Audiences beyond our immediate circles.
It really is. But it's not just about sharing for the sake of sharing, right?
No, it's not.
We have to think about the intention.
The why behind it.
Who are we sharing these photographs with?
What story are we trying to tell?
What impact do we want to make?
Those are all important questions.
They really are. It's about giving our photographs a purpose,
A voice.
to connect with others,
To inspire change.
or just to share the beauty we see
Finding our own unique voice.
within this incredible medium.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Experiment.
Try different platforms.
Different formats, different styles.
That's the beauty of photography. There are no rules.
We can make it our own.
Break free from those constraints.
Embrace the freedom and creativity.
Find what resonates with you.
What excites you?
What allows you to express yourself authentically.
I love that. It's about breaking free from those preconceived notions.
What photography should be.
And just exploring and experimenting.
Discovering our own path.
Embracing the journey.
With all its twists and turns.
Finding joy in the process.
Of creating and sharing.
Absolutely. So as we continue our own photographic journeys,
remember, you're part of something bigger.
a long and rich tradition,
You're building on the work of those who came before you.
pushing the boundaries.
Shaping the future of photography.
Who knows, maybe someday,
Someone will be doing a deep dive.
on our work,
Now, wouldn't that be something?
our photographs inspiring future generations.
It's an exciting thought.
It shows the power of photography to transcend time.
To connect with people across generations.
Well, that's a wrap on our deep dive.
Into the history of photography.
I hope you enjoyed the ride.
It was a whirlwind tour through the decades.
But there's so much more to explore.
So grab your camera.
Get out there.
Start capturing your own piece of photographic history.
Remember, photography is not just about creating images,
It's about sharing them.
connecting with others.
Finding your own voice.
Never stop learning,
Experimenting.
pushing the boundaries.
Happy shooting.